And now, Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy.
Maybe in order to understand mankind, we have to look at the word itself, mankind. Basically, it's made up of two separate words, mank and eind. What do these words mean? It's a mystery, and that's why so is mankind. TBTL!
Now, I don't know much about this podcasting business, but let me tell you, there's something about this show that just gets me hooked. These guys have a way of talking that's like having a chat with your neighbor over the backyard fence.
Just like the drop says, I cannot contain my joy. I don't think I've ever related to a drop so much right now.
It's the story of a man with a brothel of a home and a pool filled with human excrement.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen, and the it that you heard was the things that these people just said.
Please clap. All right, hello, good morning, and welcome everyone to a Tuesday edition of TBTL, the show that just might be too beautiful to live.
Carol, hold my calls.
My name's Luke Burbank. I am your host, coming to you today from Houston, Texas.
Houston, we have a boner.
Where it is an absolutely already, like 85 already at 11 in the morning. It's muggy, it's warm, it's Houston.
I feel warm and I'm levitating.
We did have a little rainstorm move through earlier today, which hopefully will cut the heat a little bit here.
Didn't know you like to get wet, though.
But yes, we've made it to Houston. We were in Las Vegas yesterday. We did Livewire in Portland on Friday. We were filming CrimeCon over the weekend. It's definitely starting to hit a wall here.
I happen to know a guy who's at his limit.
I woke up this morning and I was like, where am I? What am I? Who am I? But then I remembered I'm the co-host of TBTL, and we're at episode 4,740 in a collector's series.
Let the fun begin.
This hotel is in something that's literally called like the medical district, which of course would mean it's in the middle of like 30 enormous hospitals and medical centers, which turns out many of which receive emergency vehicles and send out emergency vehicles. And so that's going to be happening in the background of this today. I'm sorry about that.
Hey, want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
We're just going to try to get through it together. Oh, and speaking of annoying interruptions, I am realizing here from my seat in the hotel room that I didn't put the little, indicator on the door to go ahead and skip this for housekeeping this morning, and I just heard a knock on the door. Hopefully the annoying sound of me podcasting from within the room it's the international sign for do not enter the room. So hopefully the folks will just know to move on. But otherwise, I'm going to have to take a moment. I'm going to have to go over. I'm going to have to explain what a podcast is. First, I'll call it a radio show. Then I'll actually say, no, it's not a radio show. I was lying. It's actually a podcast. Then I'll explain what that is. And then I'll say, I'm doing that in the room right now for my job. So please don't come in. Anyway, there's just so many plot lines that are going to be unfolding over the next hour or so. And the guy who's going to help us follow all of these plot lines and threads down is this dude, the longest running Cobra of the show. Maybe best known for his depictions of the tall ships.
Isn't he the best?
He's Andrew Walsh, and he's joining me right now. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning, Luke. Sometimes updates aren't so bad. I know that's a controversial take. Usually we're using a computer program.
Spicy, like Viet Cajun cooking.
Yes, is that what you're covering?
Yes, that's what I'm here learning about in Houston.
It's a very spicy take, but you and I logged into our little recording software here called Riverside. It connects us remotely. Mm-hmm. It records
emotionally and also from an audio standpoint.
Exactly. And it's one of those systems where whether they need it or not, every 4 to 7 months, they just do like kind of a complete overhaul of the UI in a way that, in my experience, always makes everything a little bit more difficult to find. Like, hey, we've nested things further and further and deeper so that you can't find anything. And it always seems very kind of engineering to me, with all due respect to our engineering friends. We need our engineers to create the technology, but then we need some like kind of non-engineer minds to kind of navigate us through like the usability standpoint on things. Anyway, Riverside, in my not so humble opinion, doesn't have the best record on usability when they do these updates. But you and I both just logged in today, and we're on a very tight deadline today, which is why I'm starting with this scintillating story. And we realized, oh my God, they've totally changed the interface overnight. Like how you log in, is it going to work? And I was like, we didn't have time today to deal with any wrenches in the works or whatever the expression is. So anyway, all of that is to say,
flies in the ointment.
Flies in the ointment. What am I? Monkey wrench? I think I got caught in the word monkey. Is it monkey wrench in the?
I think a wrench in the works. Is something throwing a wrench into the works? I think you said that right.
Is it a wrench and a monkey? Is there a monkey involved? Did the monkey throw the wrench?
You've been living in the monkey house.
I've been living in the monkey house. Tim Gunn.
Andrew Walsh, if I had a bell, I'd ding it.
My bell. I'm going to ding my own bell, and I don't care what they say.
All right, please now. It's a family show.
All of that is to say, we are now navigating this new world of this new update, you and I. So far, it seems to be okay. Like, I was worried that it wasn't going to work for us and that we were going to be, late to start the show, but it's been okay. But I've noticed one thing, Luke, that is 100% an upgrade, at least from my perspective. And I'm wondering if you've noticed this as well, but Riverside always had this thing where when you first logged in, when you first dialed in, it would take a little screenshot of you that would become the sort of avatar for you for the rest of your recording session. But it never asked you, like, is this the shot you want to use? It was the equivalent of opening up your phone camera and realizing it's on selfie mode, and you get a glimpse of yourself for a second. You're like, oh, God, not that angle. Only it would freeze that, and it would keep it in front of you for your entire recording session. You're just like, oh, that's what I looked like when I logged in.
Weeks of my life trying to dig out from the emotional damage of not realizing my phone was in selfie mode and then looking down to it. Happens to me unfortunately in TikTok when I'm looking at TikTok a lot, because there's a swipe left thing that just is turning your phone into a TikTok making machine. And I'm not feeling good about myself generally when I'm looking at TikTok, which is a sign, by the way, that it's a good product. That while I'm using it, I'm feeling shame and sadness. I'm sitting there an hour or two of scrolling, and then I'll just accidentally bump it over to where it says, well, would you like to make a TikTok? And I'm like holding my phone on my lap. It's just looking up at me. Those are images I'll never get out of my mind. So yes, that is also maybe not quite as bad, but a feature of the Riverside program that we use, or at least it has been historically. Are you saying they got rid of that?
Well, look on the on your interface now. Over on the right, we just have a little A and a little L representing us. Now, you and I have our cameras off today because of, again, technical reasons. You're on the road. We didn't want to take up too much bandwidth with this. But usually it wouldn't even matter that you and I turned our cameras off, because what it does is it just grabs that very split second when you first log in before you can turn your camera off. And it just stays there as a reminder of what you look like. You know what? I'm trying to think of a famous mugshot. And if I type in famous actor
Nick
mugshot.
Nolte.
Thank you. Literally, I was going to say like Gary Busey, only not as crazy. For some reason, I link those guys in my head. I think because of the teeth. They're both Mr. Tall Teeth, sort of.
Well, they're like kind of white guys of a similar age who have I don't know about Nolte's teeth, but here's what it was. Nolte was so bedraggled in his mugshot that he had entered into Busey territory.
Maybe that's what it is.
Like Nick Nolte in the movie, let's say Blue Chips. Where I believe he's playing a college basketball coach. Is Shaq in the movie Blue Chips? Nick Nolte is on camera a fairly put together guy. Gary Busey is, let's just say, free ranging through life. And there was something about Nick Nolte looking so free range in that mugshot that just made him culturally and spiritually Gary Busey in my mind as well.
I'm having a moment right now. I don't want to exaggerate it, and I'm trying to figure out if I'm just saying this, but honestly, I just looked up Nick Nolte's mugshot, and
it's a pretty good look.
I mean, let's just say that as I age and my looks go in a certain direction, I look at a man with a full set of hair, and I say, hey, listen, like, I've looked worse than this, and I've never had a mugshot taken before. I mean, certainly.
I think the important question is, what was Nick Nolte's age in 2002 when this mugshot was taken?
It was 2002. Did you just figure that out?
That's just what the internet is telling me. That's what they're telling me on Ask Jeeves.
Okay.
It says Nick Nolte on his infamous 2002 mugshot.
So he was born in 1941. If you round that up to 42, that would put him at Am I right about that? Is that 60?
You
Is
said
like
let's
61, I guess.
This is on me for asking us to do math, but you're
Right.
saying Nick Nolte was born when?
1941. So just round that up to
okay.
42. Wouldn't 42 to 2002 be 60 years? I'm so nervous right now. I hate doing math.
No, but I think you've gotten it, and I think you've
So he'd be
also
61
told
years
me
old, and he's looking good for 61.
he
I
looks
think.
great for 61. Also, I'm glad he's not
I'm
like
49.
48 in this.
Yeah, I'm
because
49. I'm the. You know what? This is the spicy. What are you covering? The spicy Chipotle hot take of the day.
Viet Cajun.
Viet Cajun hot take is. This is actually a good photo of Nick Nolte. He's fully
Yes.
11 years older than me in this. or
Solid
something like that.
jawline.
Solid jawline. He's in shape. He's got a fun-loving shirt on, and he's got
does.
an admirable amount of hair on his head.
The quote that he gave to People magazine regarding the mugshot was, "I looked like an asylum inmate out for a lark."
Yeah, out for
So
a
he's-
lark. Is he
I've
British?
never heard lark used in that way, but
What'd
we'll
he
allow. No,
do?
you're absolutely right.
Oh, reckless driving. Okay, so probably
Yeah,
inebriated, I'm guessing.
let's be honest, it was probably a wet reckless. He probably pleaded down.
It's always the
In other words,
PCH. It's always the PCH with these guys.
let's see. Oh wow. Okay. Let's see. Nolte drove to not long before the arrest. Nolte drove to an afternoon Alcoholics Anonymous meeting at a church near his house, and felt the intoxicating effects of the psychoactive drug. So he had taken GHB. A strong dose made me feel great, yet I know I was repeating with GHB the addictive cycle I've been in before. Okay, so this is Nick Nolte telling People magazine. He apparently was in sobriety for alcohol, but he was taking something called GHB and had probably told himself, well, this is part of my workout. But as he also admitted, he probably was also getting kind of looped on it, and shows up for his meeting. Realizing he was in no shape to attend the meeting, he drove off. I was a mess and driving on the Pacific Coast Highway, he writes. I'm told 6 drivers called 911 to report a big sedan weaving on the wrong side of the road. After his arrest, he was sent to a nearby hospital for blood tests, and a local police officer asked if he could snap a photo of the wild-haired Nolte. I said, come on, you don't really want to ask that, do you? Nolte told GQ. He finally agreed to let him take the Polaroid if the officer promised to share any cash he made from it with his fellow officers. Boy, that's not the negotiation that I thought I was going to be reading about. So Nick Nolte, so this is not even an official mugshot, which, by the way, kind of makes sense.
Yeah, where
he's
he
not in
is.
front of one of those, like, whatever the backdrop of a mugshot is. He's just standing in, like, I guess the police station, but, like, almost in a doorway.
Yeah, kind of in front of a cinder block wall with a doorway in view.
Kind of partially in the shot. Like, this isn't where they stand people up for the mugshots. It's like
No.
a cop came up and said, hey, Nick Nolte, loved you in Blue Chips, which, by the way, maybe wasn't even released yet. Can you tell well, how about this? This adds to the Nick Nolte lore. Wasn't he in a movie called Down and Out in Beverly Hills where he plays a down and out guy in Beverly Hills? And kind of, again, the way they made him look in the movie was not dissimilar to the mugshot?
That I don't know. I'm looking at Beverly
Those are
Hills.
unrelated?
Blue Chips was out in 1994, so that's
Perfect.
well
So the cop
part
says,
of it,
loved
yeah.
you in Blue Chips, Mr.
Yeah.
Nolte. You look fully nuts right now. Could I take a picture of you? And Nolte says, I don't think you want to do that. And he says, what if I made you an offer? And Nolte goes, what's the offer? He goes, well, you support law enforcement. He goes, I back the blue all the time.
He said,
what
"There's
if
a
I
blue light in
agreed
his
to
heart," I think he said.
What if I agreed to share the profits of any profits from this photo with the rest of the police? Absolutely. That sounds like a great deal. Where should I stand? So the financial agreement around the photo was, you could take a picture of me if you promise to share the proceeds of this picture with the other cops.
So first of all, Down and Out in Beverly Hills seems like my kind of movie. How have I never seen this? A 1986 comedy starring Nick Nolte, Bette Midler, and one Richard Dreyfuss. Oh my God, this is totally my...
He of sliding down the chair on Bill Maher Conversations.
That's right. This is pre-sliding. I'm a big fan of you sliding down the chair. For the
I
Bill
loved your
Maher.
work in sliding off of that chair while maybe high as a kite with Bill Maher.
I love your work in sliding chairs, where there's like this question:
Jingle all the Dreyfuss.
What would happen if you didn't slide down that chair? What would your life be like today? Musician Little Richard appears as a neighbor and performs "Great Gosh Almighty" during a party scene. By the way, that's in like the establishing paragraph of Down and Out in Beverly Hills. That's not like deep into the article on Wikipedia. That's right at the top. top, Little Richard appears as a neighbor. Luke, do you know that there was a period of my life where every time I saw a limousine, I declared Little Richard to be inside of it?
And that was based on what?
An assumption.
And by the way, you can't rule it out. It's what they call a non-zero chance.
Exactly.
Little Richard.
And I feel like if I said that enough, one of those times I must have been right. Although
it's a lot
of
big
those
numbers.
were probably in the suburbs of Cleveland. So maybe, I don't know. There's a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in the neighborhood. Maybe he was in one of those.
That ups the chances. Not a great deal, but to some degree.
To some degree. Oh, look at that stretch Hummer outside of the Applebee's in Westgate.
Good golly, Miss Molly.
These apps are never ending.
Down and Out in Beverly Hills. It's a comedy starring Nick Nolte, Bette Midler, as we've already mentioned, Richard Dreyfuss, about a wealthy, dysfunctional Beverly Hills couple whose lives are upended when they rescue a suicidal homeless man from their swimming pool. The film, this is where it gets interesting, Andrew. The film, based on the French play Baudu, Saved from Drowning, explores class and culture clashes as the drifter, Jerry, played by Nolte, disrupts the family's superficial life, leading to humorous and chaotic results. It was notable as the first R-rated film released by Disney's Touchstone Pictures. Interesting to me that it's based on a French play.
I know. I was looking at that too, but I didn't have the cojones, which is another French term, to actually try to pronounce the French.
Well,
Baudu,
I'm not saying I did
Sauve,
that correctly.
Yeah.
But I do remember being a little thrown when Nick Nolte, who in my mind I associated with, and I've never even seen that movie, but it was one of those, like, I'd see the VHS of it in the, when I'd go to rent a movie at Cragen's Pharmacy or Shop and Save. So it loomed large in my mind, Nick Nolte as kind of bedraggled guy in film. And then one day you see Nick Nolte as actually a bedraggled guy. It's life imitating art, imitating life, imitating Down and Out in Beverly Hills.
Yeah, I wonder, it says that he's in a pool at the beginning of this, and it sounds like they kind of save his life. I wonder...
Well, it sounds like he's trying to end his life in the swimming pool.
Right, and I'm wondering if they
Which is a tough way to do it.
Yeah, I would guess. I'm not going to deconstruct that, I guess.
What's that?
I guess it's a little early in the morning for me to deconstruct ways that you would maybe accomplish that, for lack of a better word. But
swimming pool, probably not the way.
Right. Or if you were using the swimming pool ways, you could, whatever. My point is, I wonder if they
You're a problem solver by nature. I hear that
I
right
want
now.
to troubleshoot this.
Yes, like you like to troubleshoot audio issues sometimes on the show.
Exactly. But anyway, I could see it opening with like a sort of a tribute to Sunset Boulevard, right? Because that begins with a body in a Sunset Boulevard. Yeah, Sunset Boulevard. That begins with a body in a pool, right?
You know what? I hadn't thought about that.
Beverly
but that
Hills,
would be
Sunset Boulevard.
A nice little subtle piece of filmmaking of illusion. When's the last time you saw Sunset Boulevard?
It's been a little bit. Now, it's a movie that I've seen more than once. Now, it doesn't mean I've seen it a million times. I've seen it at least twice, and so it's not one of those movies that I saw once and I have a very vague memory of generally liking. Like, I remember some things about it, and I remember very much liking it, and I think that I should probably watch it again. I probably do.
It holds up. I feel like I watched it maybe a year ago, and I've probably seen it. I'd say that maybe was the third time I watched it all the way through. It is, I mean, it's a really, really well-made film. By the way, on the subject of old Hollywood, if I could, and I don't have my email right in front of me, so apologies to the listener who clarified this, but the other day we were talking about stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and I just sort of quickly threw out a Lorna Luft reference because that's just about like, it's by Lorna Luft's star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Oh, by the way, it's listener Jim. I got here. Thank you, Jim. Lorna Luft, and you said, who's that? And I said, an old Hollywood starlet. Not true. Lorna Luft is still alive and is, I believe, according to Jim, that's a good name for a show. According to
Jim, nah, I don't think so. I mean, maybe if you're going to put it on like an indie kind of, bury it on some sort of indie cable network or something like that. But definitely not
maybe Adult Swim, make it a cartoon or something.
Yeah, maybe something like that. Yeah.
Lorna Luft is Judy Garland's daughter by Sidney Luft.
Okay.
And Liza Minnelli's half-sister.
Okay.
Wait, I don't understand that. Oh, I see. Is the half-sister of Liza Minnelli and is alive and working. So apologies to Lorna Luft for me. It just doesn't just sound I should have gone with Mary Pickford. That's just an easy go-to if you want, old Hollywood starlet kind of a thing. But Lorna Luft, doesn't that sound like, she would have been the queen of the silent film or something, or early talkies or whatever?
Yeah, I had never heard that name before, so definitely I associate it with that because of your first reference, but it also does sound that way. I'm a little bit... This is where I get really, really confused about sort of those Hollywood dynasties, for lack of a better word, because now I'm looking at Lorna Luft's like kind of overview here on Google, and I'm seeing like the movies that pop up right away is she was in a 1972 movie called Liza with a Z. And so that's clearly about Liza Minnelli. Why was she in this? Is it a documentary, or
maybe
is it
it's a documentary, or she was? Yeah, it's probably a documentary, and so she was probably just a little kid.
No, it's a concert film. I see. It's a concert film, so maybe she joined her on stage, but then she was also in the Judy Garland Christmas show. So Judy Garland is Lorna's mom. That's what you said, right?
Yes.
Okay,
that's
so
what
she was
Jim,
probably,
according to Jim, Andrew, that's what we're hearing.
I'm starting to warm up to that concept.
Uh-huh.
What if we put
So
it
I
on
wanted
a
to clarify
bigger
that,
network?
just since we're talking about, since we're talking about old Hollywood, and I hate it when I try to make a joke or a reference or throw something out and be all cool like Lorna Luft, and then I'm just wildly off. It bothers me, but I do feel that I need to, I need to correct the record. I need to give Jim some credit. What is the name? Why am I doing this? What is the main character's name, though, in Sunset Boulevard? Her name, is it Gloria Swanson? Is that the actor, the actress?
Hold on, let me see here.
But I'm trying to remember what the name...
Gloria Swanson, I don't know this off the dome, by the way. I'm going to the internet here. Gloria Swanson is the actor, and Norma Desmond is the name of the starlet.
Norma Desmond is the name of the character. Basically, she's this
the character.
She's this, faded Hollywood star who's living up in this mansion in this kind of, sort of delusional world where she thinks her career is about to take off at any moment. And famously, that's, I believe, I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille. Does she? That might be one of those, like, Luke, I am your father deals. Like, I wonder if she even actually says it in that way, or play it again, Sam.
It's in there, though, right? I don't think that's
okay. So
I don't know for sure, but
she's saying it to Mr. DeMille.
I don't know who she's singing to. I can only picture her right now on the staircase, coming down the staircase in a sort of...
It is really a masterclass in scary eye acting.
Yes, it really is. Yeah,
It's
she's
like
got that eye
just-
makeup on that sort of enhances.
And the
that, right?
tilt back of the head and the looking down, the looking from the eyes. It's almost like I can't raise my eyelids. There's so much makeup on them. But what I can do is tilt my head back and look out from under the eyelids. And that is somehow extremely unsettling.
So let's see here. So what happens is, this is huge spoiler alert territory for people who haven't seen the film. So I'm going to just pause here for about 2.5 hours.
It turns out, give it about 5 seconds, and then we'll say, spoiler alert, she's not ready for her close-up.
Yeah, so it says the flashback ends. I don't know what flashback that is, and the film returns to the present day with Norma about to be arrested for murder. I think she might actually deliver that line on the stairs. The mansion is overrun with police and reporters with newsreel cameras, which she believes are film cameras. So she's living in this delusion. They're there to arrest her, and news cameras are there. Max pretends to, quote, direct her, and the police play along. As the cameras roll, Norma descends the grand staircase. Upon reaching the bottom, she stops and makes an impromptu speech about how happy she is to be making a film again. She then says, "All right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up," and approaches the camera. We were all right. She was on the stairs. That's how I was picturing her, but that's sort of like that's kind of a... would you call it a leitmotif? I don't know if I'm using that word right, but I feel like those stairs, Luke, I consider those stairs to be a character in the film themselves.
I do too. I consider the swimming pool to be a character
Me too.
in the film.
I consider that cup of coffee the one guy drinks out. Oh, that champagne flute, that's a character. A lot of characters.
I
actually,
was-
huge cast.
Speaking of the glasses that we drink out of, Andrew, I'm glad you brought me to this very important point on this Tuesday morning. It is Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
I'm in the right place.
It's Tuesday the 2nd, by the way. How sweet is that? Monday the 1st, Tuesday the 2nd.
Well, you had a Monday the 1st too, so everything is coming up Millhouse for you this week. You're going to be loving life. I mentioned at the top of the show that I'm kind of weirdly hitting a little bit of a wall from travel and stuff, which I kind of don't that often. I usually feel like I got a pretty resilient spirit. But man, oh man, today was a little tough to wake up, and the time zone shift, which isn't that extreme. It's 2 hours from Las Vegas, but I don't know. Anyway, I needed some coffee, but I'm also like trying to get ready for TBTL, and I'm trying to do all this research for my TV thing. And so I order a pot of coffee from the front desk, and which felt like a real Hail Mary, because this I'm in a Westin. It's room service has largely gone away, except at very high-end hotels. I don't know if you've noticed that in your travels or doing stuff with Genevieve, but it used to be that almost any hotel that you stayed in that was, north of a Motel 6, there'd be one of those, books like in-room dining options. Again, something I rarely avail myself of, but today I was like, the only way that I can get this coffee that I most desperately need into my system is to get a pot brought up to the room while I'm doing all this other stuff. I don't have time to go down to the lobby. It's almost exactly what we were talking about yesterday, how I like to I'm ensconced in the room. But there's no evidence that they actually bring food or coffee to your room. You know what I mean? There's no QR code for a menu. There's no menu. And so I'm just like, okay. So I hit 0 on the phone. The person says, hello. I said, hi. Can I need to order a pot of coffee to my room. And she goes, okay, we'll send it. And I go, do you want to know the details? She goes, okay. And I go, well, it's for one person. And can I have cream? And can I have some Splenda? She goes, okay. And then just hangs up. And I'm just like, that was like, did I even call the front desk, or did I call something in the movie Brazil? Mm-hmm. There's nothing here that made me think they were actually going to bring a pot of coffee. And then the woman wanted no information from me about the coffee, like what I wanted with the coffee, how many cups I needed. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, it doesn't. The only reason it doesn't strike me is, and what I'm about to say might leave you feeling, but I'm going to get screwed on my specific sugar substitute of choice, which is always a journey. But I was thinking
BYOS, my friend.
But I would, you watch your mouth. I don't know, it just sounded dirty. I just sort of feel like, what they probably do is they probably have a pot of coffee on a tray with 4 mugs and cream and sugar. You know what I mean? They probably just have a go-to order. That's my assumption from what you've said, but I guess we'll find out how this unfolds.
Well, they don't have that is the thing, because I don't even think there's a formal system. I think maybe just the people that work at the coffee shop are willing to bring coffee up or something.
Oh, okay.
We're off grid here. And because, so usually in the past, if I've ordered a coffee, if I'm in a nicer place, that's exactly what it is. There's a tray. There's the carafe of coffee. There's a nice little assortment of the little coffee cups that are, that are porcelain or ceramic or something. And then an assortment of additives. This was like a little, it is a carafe of coffee, but then it's like a little, if you were to go to Starbucks or something, and if you were to order, it's basically one of those cardboard holder things that has 4 slots in it and a little handle in the middle. That's for just kind of if you had a few different cups of something. And it was this carafe of coffee, and then a little small coffee cup that's paper that's filled with half and half. And thank God I told them, because this is clearly an improvised situation. And then some to-go cups, some paper cups.
After I said mugs before, I was like, I would imagine they just give you a stack of those paper cups. Yeah.
Yes, and this is the thing. For me, the entire experience, plus this is costing me $20. This is a $20 coffee experience that I'm having, as opposed to $5, if I went down and got a cup of coffee. Or maybe even free if this place has one of those lounges. I don't know. I haven't explored it. I got in at 2 a.m. But so now I'm a couple things. One, very nice young woman bringing the coffee, knocks on the door. I open the door, and I'm immediately terrified, because I need to get this coffee from her, put it down, sign for the thing. The really only convenient way for it to happen is for her to step into the room, but I am wildly uncomfortable in those situations, as you know. I do not want this person who works here to feel in the slightest way unsafe, menaced, anything. And so I am holding this very heavy door open with one foot, to the max it will go. I'm avoiding direct eye contact, which, by the way, probably creepier. But I am trying everything in my power for this young woman to understand that I come in peace. I'm not trying to let the door shut, which, if I were in her shoes, would feel very unsafe to me. You know what I mean? I'm just
You're kicking your Dominique Strauss-Kahn book under the bed so that she doesn't see you reading this
But I read it in the original
autobiography.
French, by the way, Andrew,
Yeah,
because
right.
I feel like it lost something in the translation. I am just like, for some reason, I'm like, this is what's going through my mind. Why are we sending a 23-year-old woman on this particular assignment? Which, again, 23-year-old women should be able to do any job at a hotel. But I'm just immediately like, I'm like, I know that I am safe with this person, but is this person safe with every room service delivery that they're doing? And also, she just like stepped right into the room, and I was like, I don't think you want to do, like, again, you're in no danger from me, but I think we should have, like, a lot of places, there's a whole system where the person will knock on the door, and this is regardless of their gender, the door will open. I've seen places where they'll put a doorstop down on the door, or they'll even have one that goes in the kind of crack of the door between the door and the door jamb. Basically, like, there's a thing where, like, this door is not closing, or I'm pushing this cart in and it's keeping the door open, and I'm standing in this place, and there's like a whole system in some places. This seemed to have none of that system, and all I could say was like, or all I could think was like, I am not a weirdo, but I really think you should have your head on a swivel when coming into people's hotel rooms. So that was one part of my brain. But then the other was looking at these paper cups. I was like, this completely ruins the experience for me of the coffee drinking, because I drink coffee out of paper cups all the time, not to brag. What I don't get to do as much, and what feels special to me and maybe almost worth $20, is pouring the coffee into a real coffee cup of some kind, putting in the half and half, putting in the Splenda. Oh, by the way, it's not real Splenda. I knew that right away. I would have bet you $1,000 that it was going to be some weird other thing, which it was. Luckily, I have my own Splenda. So
by the way,
fine.
Splenda's the yellow one, right? And wait, no, that's,
Well,
wait, hold on. This one of the, yeah, it's yellow, right?
It is the yellow one, but that's a whole thing, because there's lots of fake Splendas that now are yellow.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, but it's still sort of coded in that way, right? Like, you have the pink one, which was sweet and low, and now there's a bunch of other generic sweet and lows, but they're all kind of like sweet and low. Like, somehow they stay in their lanes, even if they're not the top of the charts of that kind, right? The yellows are still all trying to, or they're using the same chemicals as Splenda.
I think they are, or they want to be. Yes, you're right. I think how it started was you had sweet and low. You had
what was the blue one? Yeah,
yeah. There's the blue one, whatever that is, and I think that those brands, those products probably thought, well, we have a strong brand and people like our thing. Whatever, equal. Thank you.
Yeah, I looked it up.
And so they were like, they're not going to, they're going to stick with their color, because they're like, we have a good product and people like it and we want it to be quickly identified. Then Splenda hits the scene with their yellow, and it does taste a little bit more like regular sugar in my experience. And so then you have this next wave of non-Splenda products that are maybe similar-ish to it, but not exactly the same in my experience. But they're all jumping on the yellow train. And when you're talking to or asking for Splenda from somebody who doesn't use Splenda, it's like, they're all, it's all yellow. What's the difference? And I totally understand that perspective. And in fact, those people are probably right. I need to just like stop consuming so much, sucralose or fake sucralose or whatever this is. But I just knew for a fact that there was no way that it was going to be legit Splenda. But I have my own. Anyway, I'm now looking at these paper cups, and I'm like, I don't want to drink this coffee out of a paper cup, because I paid a lot of money for it, and I'm all excited for the experience of fixing myself a nice little cup of coffee here. So I'm looking around the room, and it's like there are a couple of, like, I guess, wine glasses, those kind of stemless ones, right, that are just like sitting on the thing, whatever it's called. And I'm like, now I'm thinking, do I need to Google, can you pour hot coffee into a wine glass? What is the point at which a hot liquid will make a glass break that's not really a hot liquid glass per se? But then I go into the bathroom, and they have, I guess you would call it maybe tumblers. What do you call the kind of glass that has a slightly thicker bottom?
Yeah, that's what. In fact, I thought that's what you were talking about at first. Yeah, I like those for like a cocktail, sort of a heavy bottomed glass. Yes. I know exactly what you're talking about.
So they have those in the bathroom, and for your water when you're brushing your teeth, and that one is slightly thicker. So it's because the wine ones are supposed to be kind of like, for if you're having a Pinot or something, it's They're a little bit. They're not a full-on Riedel, which is that like those really thin, very kind of like lovely glasses that are just trying to break if you look at them.
Yes, we have some of those stemless, very like the shorter ones for red, the slightly taller ones for whites, and they're just like they're basically a punishment for Andrew in the waiting. Like I'm just like you're right. If I pick one of those up even near the sink, it's going to shatter.
But I do love the experience of having a glass of wine in them. It's almost like you're barely holding anything. It's like gossamer wing amniotic sac of glass that is surrounding your wine, and it's all fun until that glass is broken. All that is to say, I rolled the dice. I poured the coffee into the tumbler from the bathroom, and I will say I'm now finished the pot. I've got the third pour in there, and they've survived. They did not spontaneously shatter from the heat problem. So we're off to a good start today.
Well, one thing I was going to say is I share that sort of concern that you have sometimes with the extreme temperature changes, especially when I'm washing my coffee carafe, because I have a glass coffee carafe. But that's one thing to keep in mind. You know that glass can handle hot temperatures because a lot of coffee carafes like mine sit on a hot plate and have hot coffee made directly into them. And actually, the one I have is relatively thin, and but I always get nervous.
Where did I get that from?
I don't know, but I'm with you, though. Like, I don't know where we're getting it from exactly, but I understand that sort of notion you have, like, ooh, I got to be careful here with this, because here's where I always get nervous is, like, on Sundays when I'm doing my volunteer thing, I'm making about 4 or 5 pots of coffee that morning, like one for me and Genevieve, and then like maybe 4 pots. I have kind of a small coffee pot, so I make like 4 pots of coffee and then pour each one into like a to-go thermos pump thing that we take out to the serve, right? Anyway, all that is to say, what I'm constantly doing is taking a very hot steaming pot of coffee off of the burner, pouring it directly into this thermos, closing the thermos, and then what do I want to do right away is make another pot of coffee. But I'm always so scared that if I just put that hot pot, that hot carafe under cold water, I just assume it's going to crack. So far it has not, but I'm always very careful to like get the temperature of the water coming out of my sink kind of tepid again, because I just have this weird feeling that like, ooh, hot coffee pot under cold water, that's a dead man's game. I don't know.
Was that in a movie?
Dead Man's Game?
Was that in a movie when we were kids? Why is it that you and I at roughly the same age have the same fear about hot water doing something, particularly hot coffee, doing something to a glass cup that it's not supposed to?
I'm actually looking this up now. Dead Man's Game was a 1946 film from the golden age of Hollywood in which a man keeps
Is Lorna Luft in that one?
Lorna Luft is in it. She's playing herself, and a man keeps breaking.
Nick Nolte, Lorna Luft.
And Bette Midler, and the man keeps on breaking coffee carafes when he's putting the hot coffee pot under the cold water, and apparently it leads to strife in the family. He ends up becoming institutionalized. I don't want to give away. I've already given away the ending to one classic piece of cinema, so I'll leave it there.
We was hoping for some razzle-dazzle.
Razzle-dazzle.
That's right, man, razzle-dazzle.
On your mark.
On your mark.
Get set.
Get set.
Now ready.
Ready. Go.
Everybody razzle-dazzle.
All right, let's thank some dazzling donors. These folks are donating dough to TBTL, and that's the financial model for this thing. We do the show. We ask folks who like it to voluntarily part with some money so that we can keep doing it. And somehow, miraculously, this has been working now for 4,740. Well, not really, because, I mean, there was, I guess, maybe 100 episodes or 200 episodes before this business model. But let's just say the better part of 4,700 episodes is because of folks like Barry Fought in Seattle, Washington, a.k.a. Broadcast Barry, a.k.a. the coffee king of the Pacific Northwest, although that understates Barry's many successful businesses and projects, Andrew.
Yes, his business interests are sort of splintering out like a hot coffee carafe that has cracked.
From the movie Dead Man's Game.
It's a Dead Man's Game, and that's what they say at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
I'm saying too much here, but it's like kind of cracking outward and spreading like a tree branch or a.
It's incredible. Barry's support of the show, Barry's friendship to us, Barry's telling me what flights I could book on if I need to do a mileage run and get another 10,000 Alaska Airlines points before the end of the year to make sure I maintain my status. There's not much that our friend Barry doesn't know about and can't do. Barry says, since you already promote my businesses on the regular, I thought it would be fun to share the spotlight of a few fellow 10-owned businesses.
What a guy.
Absolute mensch. Absolute mensch status. Number one, Keith Melton of Blue Dragon Wood is a Seattle-based lifelong carpenter specializing in end grain cutting boards from simple, functional pieces of intricate inlay work, as well as furniture, household items, and custom projects. He offers free local delivery in the Seattle area and can ship anywhere. Check out bluedragonwood.com. There you go.
Checking it out right now. Beautiful stuff.
Also, Brian in Portland, this is our friend Brian Dast, I believe, is an indie folk music producer who helps songwriters build high-fidelity, collaborative recordings with professional session musicians. Hear before and after examples and learn more at briandast.com, and that's BRYANDASTE.com. We know Brian. We love Brian. Brian's done many a project for this show. Number three, Erica, a longtime TBTL listener, created Handbasket Co. during the COVID shutdown with her playful, gothic hand sanitizer and has since expanded into vegan lip balms, body wash, bubble baths, shirts, arts, crafts, and jewelry. You can find her at handbasket.co or on Instagram at instagram.com/handbasket.co. I'm looking at this right now. What a I remember.
I
some
remember
of this,
this, right? I remember. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Erica wrote in about this back during the pandemic. I remember this website. It's very gothic.
I'm very excited too that this is still happening
Me
for
too.
Erica. You know, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't know that the gothic hand sanitizer market was that it was gonna, survive the pandemic and the end of the pandemic. I thought maybe that was a
what about this
pandemic-specific
bubble
thing.
bath? What about Beelzebub's bubble bath? That
Is that really the name of it?
It really is, yes, and it's perfect.
Okay,
It's got
that's a pretty good spoof.
And I think Erica might do her own art. It's got a very, very cute little illustration of a little devil taking a bath. It's very sweet. And also, I kind of associate bath time with pandemic as well. I took more baths during the baths. I took more of those baths. Balthazar. Is that also what am I thinking of? Is that also
Balthazar?
Balthazar. Is that is that something from the underworld?
I do
as well?
think Beelzebubble bath is
Beelzebubble bath. Yeah.
Incredible play on words.
Absolutely. Did you take more baths during the pandemic? I feel like we were stuck at home. Genevieve got me some bubble baths.
I didn't because
during that
I
time.
maybe a little bit. I was also kind of moving during the pandemic. I was kind of like, I was at the Burbank, I was at Burbank Springs, but then I was down in Portland, and I don't think I even maybe had a bathtub in my apartment in Portland. I will tell you now, though, out at the Madrona Hill compound, I take a fair number of baths, at least in the colder months, because we redid this what was the kitchen into this little bathroom, and I very intentionally wanted to have a freestanding bathtub that was not the thing you shower in. I've talked about this a lot. We had this at the Burbank. We remodeled a bathroom at Burbank Springs, and that was a revelation for me. I think my whole life in adulthood, every house I had ever lived in, where I showered was standing in the bathtub. And then I wonder why I never wanted to take a bath, and it was because, well, I didn't feel like cleaning the bathtub right before I took a bath. And then we had a shower stall, and then next to it was a bathtub. And I was like, oh, this is incredible because this bathtub is just mostly ready to go most of the time. And that really led to me taking more baths. And when we were redoing the bathroom, I think my dad thought I was a little crazy because I was like, I need a bathtub in this bathroom. He's like, there's not really room for it. And like, what are you going to be taking baths? And I was like, I am, Dad. I am. And in fact, I have used that bathtub a lot, mostly to prove him wrong.
So
Look at
you
me
sent
now,
him a lot
Dad.
of photos. Look, Dad, I'm using it. And I was like, okay, please
I
stop
think he's
sending
got
me
me
photos from the
blocked
bath.
now
Yeah, that makes
because
sense.
I've been sending them and getting no response.
Yeah.
But yes, in the wintertime, particularly if I've been out on some kind of a jog and it's cold and it's kind of gotten into my bones a little bit, to just, or even, by the way, if it's wintertime and I'm feeling a little under the weather for whatever reason, I'm really into taking a warm bath and staring out the window at the river. It's very relieving. Are you taking baths around your place?
No, my bathtub is not very nice down here in the basement. It's kind of jacked up, sort of.
Oh, you have a bathtub though in your basement bathroom.
Well, the kind that you're talking
shower.
about, though, it's a shower bathtub situation, and so you're right. Like, I would definitely want to clean it. I now keep this is sort of an extension of something we talked about the other day. I keep sort of a kind of an abrasive style sponge. It's actually a little cat's face. I think a listener might have sent this to me like 5 or 10 years ago, and it's just been in sort of like an unusable corner of my bathroom cabinet for a long time. And I pulled it out, and it's like one of those cutesy little sponges, but it's kind of like it's like a cat's face sort of. And I was like, why don't I just keep this in the shower with me? And now I've kind of taken to like every now and then, like maybe like kind of cleaning the walls or the tub with it a little bit while I'm in the shower. That's a little bit different than what I was telling you about the other day. I just kind of keep it in there now. So I'm just trying to keep the buildup from building up and then having to clean the shower, like do a huge clean all the time. So I'm trying to keep it tidy, but it's just not it's like the polar opposite of what you have your, Dwell magazine-esque like bathroom that overlooks with your, don't you have a special round window or something like that?
I do, although that was mostly because I bought the wrong sized round window. Like, that wasn't the original plan for that area. Because I'm bad with measurement, I bought this huge round window that I was gonna put in, have my dad put in one part of the house, and then when it arrived, it was like, what are you thinking? And there was no refunds.
Was it the
so I had to find
was
another
it the port window? That's not the one.
No, that's just on the door. That was intentional and actually measured out correctly. But there's this other big round window that I ordered. It was far too large for the place that I thought it was going to go. And so I had to find somewhere else to put it. So I kind of reverse engineered this whole thing. But yes, it is a fairly picturesque thing now with this big round window and a bathtub that you can stare out from and look at the river. I do like doing that. But mostly what I want to say is thank you to our friend Barry, a.k.a. Broadcast Barry.
Yeah.
Just
coffee
a wonderful
shandies,
person.
folks. Do not sleep on these coffee shandies. Go to broadcast. He didn't promote his own thing, but it's broadcastcoffee.com, I believe, right? Let's see here. Because we have to actually shout out his actual website, right? And because I've been ordering some of those pre-canned cold brews. Or they're actually not cold brews. They're iced coffee, but it's broadcastcoffeeroasters.com. I knew I was getting that address somewhat wrong. Broadcastcoffeeroasters.com, or just Google Broadcast Coffee. It'll take you there. They deliver wherever you are, I assume, within reason. And I'm telling you, it's summertime. You get yourself some of those canned cold coffees with some of those coffee shandies in the mix. It is heaven. That is my definition of summer now.
Barry, thank you so much. We really do appreciate you, buddy. Maestro?
On your mark.
On your mark.
Get set.
Get set.
Now ready.
Ready. Go.
Everybody rattle, dazzle.
It's Kate Muller in Seattle, Washington.
Oop, Luke, 1 second. Before you continue, I need to use the restroom. Is there a place do you think there's a place I could use the restroom? Mine is occupied right now.
Let's see. Okay. Let's see. As the crow flies.
I'm kind of in the
essential
Green
question
Lake
is,
area.
how long can you hold it? I'm trying to think about the distance between you and Green Lake Strength and Conditioning. Would you say that's about maybe a 12-minute drive for you?
Drive, yeah, I think that's almost
depending on the route you take.
Actually, you know what? I pass by it almost every Sunday. Yeah, I'm actually I think less than that. I think I can get there, and I don't.
Well, then you
speed
better go
either.
right now.
Yeah, I'm leaving right now. Okay, you go ahead and read this message though.
Kate, of course, and her husband own Green Lake Strength and Conditioning. Kate's message starts: "Business boys, it's Kate, the person who owns the gym where you can poop if urgency strikes while you're running around Green Lake." As in previous years, I'm using this message for some self-promotion. Normally, I'm promoting our Seattle gym, Green Lake Strength and Conditioning, but this year, we've added another gym to the family, Polaris Strength and Conditioning in Ballard. Are you kidding me? This is amazing news. Now I have a place to poop in Ballard.
That's good. We all do.
My husband and I own the best small gyms in Seattle that welcome and celebrate all bodies, all people, and all abilities. And we have coaches who can meet everyone where they are fitness-wise. I am about the furthest thing from a gym bro as you could imagine. And I'd love everyone to experience the community acceptance and fun that I've found at our gyms. Do you know how far Kate is from a gym bro, Andrew?
How far?
She went to Brown with our friend, Television's Chris Hayes. Yeah. And I only learned this the other day, as did you, when our friend, Television's Chris Hayes, sent us a picture. He said, I'm with a 10 at the Brown reunion.
And you pointed out that we've known Kate for a long time, and never once has she casually dropped that in conversation the way we would had we those credentials.
I've been telling everyone that I know two people who went to Brown.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I'm now framing my whole existence, is knowing Kate and Chris, and also actually Kate Shaw as well. So I guess two Kates and a Chris.
You know, I love
that I know
show.
who went to Brown.
Two Kates, a Chris, and a pizza shop is a great.
Two Kates, a Chris, and a bathtub. Mm-hmm. Kate, that was amazing. That Kate is so understated about these kinds of things that I had no idea that she knew, or at least was also attending Brown at the same time as our friend Chris Hayes. Here are the websites for these gyms that Kate and her husband now own: GreenLakeStrength.com and PolarisStrength.com. That is POLARIS strength.com. Back to TBTL. I've been a dedicated daily listener since Eli Sanders' 2008 Stranger piece. I honestly don't know what my life would be like without TBTL. Love you guys. Power out. Signed, Kate. Reminds me, I got to look up Eli. I got to send, about every 4 years, I send Eli a random email going, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for, for writing about our little show in The Stranger and getting the Kates of the world to check in on us and see what this is all about. And here we are, almost 20 years later. So, Kate, thank you so much. Everybody check out Green Lake Strength and Conditioning and Polaris Strength, not just for your bathroom needs, but also for your moving in your body needs, which also sounds like going to the bathroom.
Here I go once again with the email. Every week, I hope that it's from a female. Oh, man. Not from a female.
All rightly. Email or V-mail as we're wrapping things up today. I've got to head across town to Houston. Here's one thing I'll tell you about Houston, Andrew, in my short experience here. But I've been here a few times. Nothing is close to anything. Like, there's something about the design of this city. And again, I think it's a cool city. I like a lot of the stuff that goes on here. But it's like somehow everything is a minimum of 40 minutes from everything else. I think it has this kind of beltway thing, like sort of like they have in D.C., where you've got the central part of the city, and then you get this big freeway ringing it. And somehow I'm always on the wrong side of the loop of the freeway of where I'm trying to go. So I need to skedaddle here pretty quick is my point.
All right, well, here's what we're going to do today. This actually kind of works out well because, as you know, I've been going through the TBTL voicemail line. I kind of hadn't checked it in a long time, so I'm still playing catch-up. And about a month and a half ago, and I'm realizing this now, it's kind of funny listening to the voicemails on the voicemail line. It's sort of a way of clocking where we were in our lives because I've apparently just gotten to the parts of the voicemails where I brought Lucy home for the first time. I heard a voicemail this morning from, mid last month that said, hey, I heard you're looking for dogs. Here's some advice. And then the next one was, hey, I heard you brought a dog home. And this is a story from listener Bree that she wanted to share because right around the time we brought Lucy home, she had lost her dog of many, many years, and she wanted to share some memories with us. But here's the deal. I'm listening to the story at the kitchen counter today and thinking, how am I going to play this on the show and then have you and I react to it? Because it is such a sweet, sweet story, but it also left me feeling very choked up. And I'm like, I can't play this voicemail and then talk after the voicemail. I will be too choked up.
Is it about dogs and trees?
It's about dogs staring at trees that they remember from their youth.
That's a lot.
It's not macabre in any way. It was just Bree saying, hey, your stories of bringing home a puppy reminded me of when we brought our puppy home many years ago, and we just said goodbye to that dog recently. See, I'm already getting choked up. So what we're going to do is I'm going to just play the outro music. Let's get out of here, you and I.
Yes.
And close out the show.
With our dignity.
And then I will play Bree's voicemail, which is a couple of minutes long. And then you and I can cry silently. And
well,
then,
what I'll do is I'll listen to this later, and then tomorrow, if it comes up again, we could weigh in on it.
Yo, there.
Somebody let a dog into the hotel room here.
Fake dog. Don't try to fool me. I'm a dog expert now. I can tell that's a fake
you are.
dog. Yeah.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. That will bring us to the end of, well, at least Andrew and I's part of the show, but stick around to hear listener Bree talking dogs. And then we'll be right back here tomorrow with more Imaginary Radio. I'll have a full report on Viet Cajun cooking and everything else fun going on in Houston, Texas. So please do join us for that. In the meantime, everybody have a great rest of your Tuesday. Take care of yourselves. Go Mariners. How will they walk them off tonight? And please remember, no mountain too tall.
And good luck to all.
Hi, this is listener Bree in Columbia, South Carolina. I have just started listening. We just learned about Lucy. I'm so excited. Congratulations. I just had to share some memories. We lost me and my husband's first dog of her own this last November, Delilah. She was the greatest dog. Still getting over not over it, but grieving with it. But she was 16 years old and she was a pit mix. But listening just to the very beginning stories of Lucy are just bringing back such wonderful memories from when she was a puppy. We found her when she was 12 weeks old on the side of the road, like Andrew found his cats growing up. And she was an emaciated 12-pound puppy. She grew into a 70-pound, best-behaved dog in the world. But I had not crate trained a dog before, and I was so diehard on her sleeping in the bed with us that we were 19 years old and it was our first dog, and we didn't do nearly as much research or any. But I actually got to the point, because we didn't want her to pee in the bed and she would jump down and go pee on the floor, that I would tie a string to my wrist and to her collar, so when she went to jump down off the bed, that it would wake me up and I could run her outside, because I wanted her to sleep in the bed with us that much. And till she had harder times getting up into the bed, probably when she was 15 and a half, she slept next to me in the bed long ways under the covers. And I just look forward to the memories that I'm going to be thinking of as I hear about all these Lucy stories. I just want to thank y'all for helping me just remember Delilah, and I'm going to try and email maybe a picture of her when she was a puppy and then when she was 16. Thank y'all so much. Listening to TBTL has been a huge help in getting through some really tough days after we did lose her. But I can't wait to hear of all of Lucy and everybody's stories to come. Thanks, guys.
Power out.